The hidden secret to longevity. In your fruit bowl. Imagine this. In a quiet little town in Vermont, there's a man named George Whitmore. He's 92 years old. Every morning, without fail, George ties his sneakers, grabs a small woven basket, and strolls through his backyard garden, picking fruits, blueberries, grapes, papayas, every single day. His neighbors often ask him, "George, what's your secret? No medications, no fancy treatments." George just smiles and says, "It's simple. I eat my medicine before I ever need it. It grows on trees." You see, while many seniors struggle with frailty, memory loss, high blood pressure, and aching joints, George remains sharp, strong, and full of life. He doesn't spend his days in hospital waiting rooms. He spends them hiking, reading, laughing with his grandchildren. And his secret isn't some magic pill. It's the incredible power of natural fruits. Here's a powerful truth that most people overlook. The right fruits, eaten daily, can rebuild your strength, sharpen your mind, rejuvenate your heart, and even reverse the clock on aging. But it's not just any fruit. Some fruits work wonders, while others offer only empty sugar. If you're over 60 or love someone who is, this will unlock the 7 miraculous fruits that every senior should eat every single day. Stay with me until the end, because by the time we finish, you'll have a simple, delicious blueprint to transform your health, starting with your next meal. As we move past our 60s, something fundamental changes within our bodies. Metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain weight and harder to stay energized. Bones lose density, increasing the risk of fractures and osteoporosis. Muscle mass declines, a condition called sarcopenia, making even simple tasks harder. The immune system weakens, leaving us vulnerable to infections, and memory, once sharp and steady, may begin to falter as oxidative stress damages brain cells. It sounds daunting, doesn't it? But here's the uplifting part. Nature provides powerful tools to fight back, if you know where to look. And some of the most potent weapons are found not in a pharmacy, but in your grocery store's produce aisle. You've probably heard fruits are good for you, but few realize just how deep this goodness truly goes. Fruits are packed with vitamins and minerals, essential for every reaction happening inside your body. They deliver fiber that regulates digestion, blood sugar, and supports heart health. They are nature's richest source of antioxidants, neutralizing the free radicals that speed up aging and disease. And they hold rare phytonutrients, powerful plant compounds that reduce inflammation and repair your body at the cellular level. In fact, a major study published in Circulation, the Journal of the American Heart Association, found that adults who consumed at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables daily had a 13% lower risk of death from all causes and a 31% lower risk of death from cardiovascular disease compared to those who ate fewer servings. And when it comes to fruits specifically, the benefits are even sharper. Certain fruits have been clinically proven to improve memory and slow cognitive decline, lower blood pressure, naturally reduce joint pain and stiffness, boost immune defense, strengthen bones, promote healthy weight, sharpen vision. Aging cells are more vulnerable. Aging hearts work harder. Aging bones need more support. Yet research shows that only 1 in 10 seniors consume the recommended amount of fruits daily. The consequences? Higher rates of dementia, higher rates of fractures, greater incidence of heart disease, more hospitalizations from infections. This isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. The right fruits nourish, protect, and rebuild you from the inside out. But not all fruits are created equal. Some fruits, due to their specific antioxidants, fibers, and nutrients, are especially suited for seniors. They don't just prevent disease, they actively rebuild strength, repair organs, and restore vitality. And that's exactly what we're about to explore. Over the next few minutes, we'll dive deep into 7 miraculous fruits that seniors should prioritize every single day. Each fruit brings a unique superpower. One fights memory loss like a natural shield. Another strengthens brittle bones. One soothes aching joints. Another keeps your heart strong and steady. And with each fruit, I'll share the real science, an inspiring real-life story, and practical tips to easily incorporate them into your routine. Stay tuned, because by the end of this journey, you'll have something more precious than just information. You'll have a clear, delicious roadmap to a longer, stronger, more vibrant life. And remember, it's never too late to start. George Whitmore started eating his daily fruits at 78. Today, at 92, he's still thriving. You can too. The 7 timeless daily secrets for longevity. 1. Leafy greens. Nature's multivitamin for the aging body. As we grow older, our bodies quietly shift in ways we sometimes barely notice. Bones lose density, skin loses elasticity, eyes lose sharpness. Yet hidden in the simplicity of nature, there exists a timeless remedy. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, collard greens, arugula, mustard greens. These humble foods have been celebrated across centuries and cultures, not because they are trendy, but because they quietly, persistently sustain life. They are, quite simply, nature's multivitamin, gifted directly to us from the earth. Packed with vitamin A, leafy greens help maintain sharp vision and a strong immune system. 2 pillars of resilience that often decline with age. Vitamin C, abundant in these greens, acts as a powerful antioxidant, shielding skin cells from damage and supporting wound healing. Vitamin K, often overlooked, plays a crucial role in blood clotting and maintaining bone health. 2 critical defenses against the falls and fractures that can steal independence from seniors. Beyond vitamins, leafy greens deliver an incredible wealth of minerals: iron for oxygenating the blood, calcium for fortifying bones, magnesium for calming muscles and nerves. They are rich in dietary fiber, aiding digestion, regulating blood sugar, and feeding beneficial gut bacteria that influence everything from mood to immunity. Yet the true genius of leafy greens lies not just in their nutrient content, but in their effortless adaptability. In Okinawa, known for hosting some of the world's oldest living populations, elders incorporate greens seamlessly into every meal, stir-fried with garlic, simmered into broths, or lightly blanched and dressed with miso. It's not a health regimen, it's simply how they live. Take the story of Mrs. Haruka Oshiro, a 92-year-old from northern Okinawa. Every morning, after tending to her small vegetable patch, she prepares a simple breakfast: a bowl of rice, a side of sautéed goya leaves, and a miso soup rich with seaweed and greens. She doesn't count calories or track macros. She simply honors the natural foods her ancestors grew, and in return, those foods honor her body. Haruka still walks to the village market daily. Her eyes sparkle with vitality. Her hands, though weathered, remain steady and strong. When asked for her secret, she simply smiles and says, "Green things keep me young." Modern research echoes her wisdom. Studies have shown that seniors who consume at least 1 serving of leafy greens per day experience significantly slower cognitive decline compared to those who eat few or none. Another study linked regular consumption of greens to a 26% lower risk of developing heart disease. a staggering difference made by simple daily choices. In practical terms, adding leafy greens to your life doesn't require gourmet cooking skills or expensive ingredients. It can be as simple as tossing a handful of baby spinach into your morning smoothie, adding a side of sautéed kale with your dinner, mixing chopped arugula into sandwiches and wraps, blending Swiss chard into hearty soups or stews, layering romaine or butter lettuce into salads with olive oil and lemon. For those who struggle with raw salads, lightly steaming or sautéing greens can make them more digestible without sacrificing their benefits. Consistency is key. A small serving, about 1 cup raw or half a cup cooked, consumed daily can compound into profound long-term rewards. And don't worry about choosing the perfect green. Diversity is your ally. Each type of leafy green offers its own unique blend of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Rotating your greens not only keeps meals interesting, but maximizes the spectrum of nourishment your body receives. Moreover, leafy greens carry an additional gift. They are deeply hydrating. Their high water content aids in maintaining healthy skin, supporting kidney function, and enhancing overall vitality, an often overlooked but crucial factor in graceful aging. In a world filled with processed supplements and synthetic solutions, leafy greens stand as a quiet, enduring truth. Sometimes the most powerful medicine grows silently in the soil. By honoring them, by inviting them onto your plate each day, you are not just feeding your body, you are watering the roots of your future strength, clarity, and joy. So as you look at your next meal, ask yourself, is there something green on my plate? If not, it's a simple, beautiful place to start. One leaf, one meal, one vibrant day at a time. 2. Fermented foods. Healing the gut, healing the mind. Beneath the surface of your skin, inside your digestive tract, lies an invisible world that quietly shapes every aspect of your health, your gut microbiome. And within this delicate ecosystem, fermented foods have been trusted guardians for thousands of years. Long before probiotics became a buzzword, cultures around the world intuitively embraced the power of fermentation. In Okinawa, it's miso and pickled vegetables. In Korea, it's kimchi. In Eastern Europe, it's sauerkraut and kefir. Without refrigeration or science textbooks, our ancestors instinctively preserved food in ways that didn't just sustain them, they strengthened them. Fermentation is nature's way of preserving vitality. Through this simple process, beneficial bacteria, probiotics, are born. These good microbes populate our gut, where they digest food, produce essential vitamins, regulate inflammation, and even communicate directly with our brain through the gut-brain axis. Modern research has finally caught up with ancient wisdom. A healthy gut microbiome is now recognized as central to everything from digestion and immune defense to emotional resilience and cognitive sharpness. When you nourish your gut with fermented foods, you do more than ease digestion or prevent bloating. You strengthen your mental clarity. You stabilize your moods. You support your immune system at its very core. Consider the story of Mr. Kenji Watanabe, an 88-year-old Okinawan farmer who begins each day with a small bowl of natto, sticky, fermented soybeans. Kenji credits this simple, pungent dish for his robust energy, sharp memory, and good humor well into his 9th decade. "I feed my belly," he laughs, "and my belly feeds my heart." Indeed, it's not an exaggeration. Over 90% of the body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter often called the happiness chemical, is produced in the gut, not the brain. When your gut thrives, your mind brightens. When your gut struggles, anxiety, depression, and brain fog often follow. Fermented foods offer a natural, gentle way to maintain this inner garden without the need for pills or complicated regimens. Here are a few living treasures you can easily invite onto your plate. Yogurt with live active cultures. Creamy, versatile, rich in probiotics and calcium. Kefir, a tangy, drinkable fermented milk even more diverse in beneficial bacteria than yogurt. Miso, a savory Japanese paste made from fermented soybeans, delicious in soups or sauces. Sauerkraut, finely shredded fermented cabbage, bursting with lactic acid bacteria. Kimchi, spicy Korean fermented vegetables, vibrant and full of life. Tempeh, a fermented soybean cake, rich in protein and probiotics. The key is consistency, not quantity. Just a few tablespoons a day can profoundly shift your internal ecosystem toward balance and vitality. If you're new to fermented foods, start slowly. Your gut may need time to adjust to the influx of living bacteria. Begin with small portions, a spoonful of sauerkraut, a cup of kefir, a bowl of miso soup, and build from there. Choose products with minimal added sugar and artificial ingredients. Look for labels that say, live active cultures. Or better yet, try making your own simple fermented veggies at home, a practice that connects you even more deeply to your food. Beyond physical health, fermentation offers another quiet gift: patience. In a world that demands instant results, fermentation reminds us that real transformation happens slowly, invisibly, over time. It teaches us to trust the unseen, to nourish gently, and to let life unfold naturally. In Blue Zones, this trust in slow, living processes is mirrored in every aspect of daily life, from the way food is prepared, to the way relationships are nurtured, to the way aging is embraced, not feared. Fermented foods aren't a miracle cure. They're something better, a humble, enduring ally you can call upon every single day. Each spoonful is a message to your body: heal, strengthen, flourish. Each bite is a conversation with your future self. I am building you strong. I am making you resilient. Healing the gut is healing the mind. And healing the mind is reclaiming the joyful, vibrant life that is your birthright. So today, open your heart to the small, living foods that carry the wisdom of the ages. Taste the tang of life itself, and trust that from within, silent and unseen, true vitality is quietly growing. 3. Whole grains. Sustained energy for a long journey. Imagine living with steady, reliable energy, the kind that carries you through long days and even longer years, without the spikes and crashes so common in modern life. In the ancient fields of Sardinia and the rolling hills of Nicoya, Costa Rica, the key to such lasting vitality has always been simple: whole grains. Whole grains, brown rice, oats, barley, quinoa, millet, are nature's slow-burning fuel. Unlike refined grains, which have been stripped of their fiber and nutrients, whole grains preserve the bran, germ, and endosperm, offering a complete package of energy, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. At the heart of their power lies fiber. This humble nutrient does more than keep digestion moving smoothly. Fiber stabilizes blood sugar levels, supports heart health by lowering cholesterol, and feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, nurturing a microbiome that strengthens immunity and sharpens the mind. Then there's magnesium, found abundantly in whole grains, a mineral that regulates blood pressure, relaxes muscles, supports deep sleep, and helps prevent type 2 diabetes, a condition that often steals vitality in later life. The slow-digesting carbohydrates in whole grains provide steady energy throughout the day, preventing the roller coaster of fatigue and irritability caused by processed foods. In the blue zones, where centenarians thrive, whole grains are not an occasional health food. They are a daily staple. Take the story of Mr. Antonio Mura, an 86-year-old Sardinian shepherd. Each morning, Antonio begins his day with pain carasau, a traditional flatbread made from whole wheat, drizzled with olive oil and eaten with a handful of olives. For lunch, a barley and vegetable stew. For dinner, wild greens and a scoop of farro. Antonio's strength is not accidental. It's cultivated, meal by simple meal, through foods that nourish rather than deplete. He doesn't count carbs or track macros. He lives by tradition, and tradition, it turns out, holds timeless wisdom. Modern science now confirms that diets rich in whole grains are associated with lower risks of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even certain cancers. In fact, people who eat 3 or more servings of whole grains daily have been shown to live longer, healthier lives. In practical terms, incorporating whole grains into your life doesn't require radical change. It begins with small, intentional shifts. Swap white rice for brown rice or wild rice. Choose oatmeal or steel-cut oats instead of sugary breakfast cereals. Try ancient grains like quinoa, bulgur, or amaranth in salads and side dishes. Enjoy whole grain bread made from true whole wheat, not refined flour. Start small. A few tablespoons of cooked quinoa mixed into your salad, a serving of barley soup once a week, an oatmeal breakfast a few mornings each week. Over time, these simple habits lay a foundation of sustainable energy, digestive strength, and heart health. And don't be swayed by marketing gimmicks. Not all products labeled whole grain are created equal. Look for ingredients that list 100% whole grain as the first item. Choose foods with minimal added sugars, preservatives, and artificial flavors. Return, as much as possible, to the foods your grandparents would recognize. Whole grains are not glamorous. They do not scream for attention. But they work quietly, steadily, powerfully, a faithful ally in your pursuit of longevity. They teach us something important. True strength doesn't come from dramatic surges. It comes from gentle, consistent nourishment, day after day, year after year. So next time you sit down to a meal, ask yourself, is this fueling me for the long journey, or just for the next hour? Choose the foods that will walk with you, through every sunrise, every laugh line, every dance, and every embrace, because the road to 100 is not a sprint. It's a beautiful, winding journey. And with whole grains as your steady companions, every step can be lighter, stronger, and filled with more life. 4. Olive oil, liquid gold for heart and brain. In the sun-drenched hills of the Mediterranean, there is a common thread that ties long-lived communities together: the generous use of olive oil, not just as a cooking fat, but as a daily elixir of life. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, is often called liquid gold, and for good reason. It is rich in monounsaturated fats, which help lower bad LDL cholesterol while boosting good HDL cholesterol. This delicate balance protects arteries, keeps blood flowing smoothly, and shields the heart from disease, one of the greatest threats to vitality as we age. But olive oil's magic doesn't end at the heart. It is also packed with polyphenols, potent antioxidants that fight inflammation and oxidative stress, two invisible enemies that accelerate aging, dull the mind, and weaken the body. Regular consumption of olive oil has been linked to a reduced risk of cognitive decline, Alzheimer's disease, and other forms of dementia. It's brain food in the truest, most ancient sense. Across Sardinia, Icaria, and Crete, homes of some of the longest living people on Earth, olive oil flows freely into daily life. It's drizzled over fresh vegetables, stirred into soups, used as dressing, or simply soaked into hearty breads. There, it's not considered an addition to health. It is health. Take the story of Mrs. Sophia Kalogeropoulos, a 91-year-old from the Greek island of Icaria. Every morning, she prepares a small salad of tomatoes, cucumbers, and wild greens, drenched generously in olive oil and sprinkled with oregano. When asked about her incredible energy and sharp mind, she chuckles and says, "Olive oil in my food, olive oil in my blood." Sophia moves lightly around her garden, reads without glasses, and shares stories with her grandchildren without missing a beat. Living proof that some of life's richest gifts come in simple golden drops. Scientific studies back her tradition. Research shows that people who consume a Mediterranean-style diet rich in olive oil have a significantly lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and age-related cognitive decline. One long-term study even found that a high olive oil intake was associated with a 41% lower risk of strokes. A staggering testament to the quiet strength of this humble oil. Incorporating olive oil into your life doesn't require major changes or complex recipes. It can be as simple as drizzling extra virgin olive oil over steamed or roasted vegetables, swapping butter for olive oil when cooking or baking, mixing olive oil with lemon juice for a quick, vibrant salad dressing, adding a spoonful to soups, stews, and even smoothies for a silky, nutrient-rich boost. The key is to choose high-quality, extra virgin olive oil, cold-pressed, unrefined, and stored in dark bottles to protect its fragile antioxidants. Avoid cheap blends or highly processed oils, which lose much of the magic in favor of mass production. And remember, a little goes a long way. 2 to 4 tablespoons a day, integrated naturally into meals, is enough to nourish the heart, sharpen the brain, and support graceful aging. Olive oil also carries a deeper, symbolic power. It teaches us to value richness, not in quantity, but in quality. It reminds us that health is built not by extremes, but by daily rituals of care and respect for the body. Each golden drop whispers, "Be kind to yourself, protect what matters." And in doing so, it protects your arteries, your neurons, your memories, the very fabric of your life. In a world rushing towards synthetic solutions, olive oil stands as a testament to timeless wisdom, that sometimes the best medicine is grown under the open sky, harvested by hand, and poured with love. So next time you dress a salad or roast a vegetable, think of Mrs. Sophia under her olive trees, smiling as the golden oil catches the light. Think of each drop as a promise to yourself, for a heart that beats stronger, a mind that stays clearer, and a life that stretches further, filled with vitality and joy. Because true richness isn't found in what you accumulate. It's found in how well you nourish the life within you. One spoonful of golden simplicity at a time. 5. Nuts and seeds. Tiny giants of vitality. Sometimes, the greatest treasures come in the smallest packages. In the quest for longevity, few foods punch above their weight quite like nuts and seeds. Tiny yet mighty, subtle yet powerful. Across the world's blue zones, from the rugged hills of Sardinia to the sunny shores of Okinawa, nuts and seeds are a daily staple. Elders who thrive well into their 90s and beyond often share a simple habit. A handful of these nutrient-dense foods scattered across meals, day after day. What makes them so extraordinary? First, nuts and seeds are packed with healthy fats, particularly monounsaturated and omega-3 fatty acids, that nourish the heart, lower inflammation, and protect the brain. Second, they provide plant-based protein, supporting muscle maintenance, essential for preserving strength, mobility, and independence with age. Third, they offer fiber, regulating digestion, stabilizing blood sugar levels, and feeding beneficial gut bacteria that influence everything from mood to immune defense. They are also rich in critical antioxidants like vitamin E, which shields cells from oxidative damage, slowing the visible and invisible signs of aging. Consider the story of Mr. Matteo Serra, an 87-year-old Sardinian farmer. Each afternoon, Matteo sits under a sprawling fig tree, enjoying a modest snack, a handful of walnuts, almonds, and pistachios, harvested from trees planted decades ago by his father. When asked about his steady energy and quick mind, Matteo shrugs and smiles. "Nature gave me these small gifts. I just never stopped saying, thank you." Science echoes Matteo's tradition. Large observational studies show that individuals who consume a handful of nuts daily have a significantly lower risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even some cancers. In one study, regular nut eaters lived 2 to 3 years longer on average than those who rarely ate them. Yet, despite their richness, nuts and seeds fit easily into everyday life. They require no special preparation, no elaborate recipes. You can toss a handful of almonds or walnuts into your oatmeal. Sprinkle chia seeds into smoothies or yogurt. Add sunflower seeds to your salads for a satisfying crunch. Spread almond butter or tahini on whole grain toast. Carry a small pouch of mixed nuts for a portable, energy-sustaining snack. Moderation is key. Because nuts and seeds are calorie-dense, a small portion, about a closed handful or roughly 1 ounce, 28 grams, is ideal for reaping the benefits without overloading the body. When choosing, prioritize raw or dry roasted varieties without added sugars, oils, or heavy salts. Nature's version is the most potent form. And don't limit yourself to just one kind. Each nut and seed brings unique gifts. Walnuts are brimming with brain-boosting omega-3s. Almonds offer vitamin E for skin and immune health. Chia and flax seeds provide soluble fiber and plant-based omega-3s. Pumpkin seeds supply magnesium for muscle and nerve function. Sesame seeds are rich in calcium, supporting bone strength. Rotating them ensures a broader spectrum of nourishment. Beyond physical benefits, there's something emotionally powerful about incorporating nuts and seeds into your daily life. They are reminders of abundance, of how life's greatest gifts are often small, humble, and consistent. They reconnect us to traditions that honored the earth's bounty, long before the noise of modern nutrition trends. Each handful becomes a quiet act of self-care. Each bite, a reaffirmation that you are investing in strength, clarity, and joy, not just for today, but for the many vibrant years still ahead. In a world obsessed with complexity, nuts and seeds offer a beautifully simple truth: that profound health is built, not through extremes, but through small, wise choices repeated with love. So today, honor your journey with a handful of nature's oldest allies. Taste their richness, feel their strength, trust their quiet wisdom. Because in the end, it's not the size of the step that matters most. It's the direction you keep moving, one small, steady step at a time. And sometimes, a lifetime of vitality begins with something as small and as mighty as a single nut in the palm of your hand. 6. Minimize sugar and processed foods. Clearing the hidden threats. In the modern world, it's easy to think that aging must come with fatigue, brain fog, aching joints, and expanding waistlines. But often, these symptoms are not inevitable. They are fed quietly and steadily by what's hidden on our plates. Added sugars and ultra-processed foods have crept into nearly every corner of the modern diet. Sweetened yogurts, packaged cereals, frozen meals, sodas, even so-called health bars. These foods promise convenience, but deliver slow, steady damage to the body. Excessive sugar spikes blood sugar levels, leading to crashes that sap energy and increase cravings. Over time, these fluctuations exhaust the body's ability to manage glucose, paving the way for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. Sugar also fuels chronic inflammation, the silent driver behind arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, cardiovascular issues, and accelerated aging at the cellular level. Processed foods make the problem worse. They are often stripped of fiber, packed with refined oils, preservatives, additives, and artificial flavors that strain the liver, cloud the mind, and rob the body of its ability to regenerate efficiently. Contrast this with the way people eat in the world's longest-living communities. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, or Icaria, Greece, there is almost no processed food in daily life. Meals are built from fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and small amounts of fish or dairy. Foods that come directly from nature, not factories. Take Mrs. Lucia Vargas, an 82-year-old from Nicoya. Years ago, Lucia found herself feeling sluggish and overweight. A doctor warned her about prediabetes. Rather than turn to medication immediately, Lucia returned to the simple foods of her childhood: black beans, papayas, corn tortillas, and fresh greens. She cut out sugary sodas and packaged snacks, and slowly her vitality returned. Today, Lucia still rides her bicycle to the market, gardens under the morning sun, and enjoys sharp conversations with her grandchildren. Her secret? "I stopped eating things that came in shiny bags," she says with a laugh. It's a deceptively simple but powerful truth. Minimizing sugar and processed foods isn't about harsh restrictions or guilt. It's about clearing the weeds from your internal garden so that real health can take root again. Here are practical ways to shift your diet gently but powerfully. Drink water or herbal teas instead of sugary sodas and juices. Choose whole fruits over processed desserts. Prepare simple meals at home using real ingredients. Swap out refined grains for whole grains. Read labels carefully. Avoid products where sugar, corn syrup, or refined flour dominate the ingredients list. You don't have to eliminate every sweet indulgence forever. But when treats become the exception, not the rule, the body begins to heal. Inflammation decreases, blood vessels regain elasticity, and cells repair more efficiently. Energy stabilizes, sleep deepens, the mind clears. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about tilting the balance, meal by meal, back toward foods that heal, not harm. And with every small shift, you send a powerful message to your future self. I choose vitality. I choose clarity. I choose life. Modern culture often glorifies speed, convenience, and novelty. But longevity teaches us a different wisdom. That consistency, simplicity, and authenticity nourish not just the body, but the soul. The shiny packaging of processed foods hides a deeper cost. The simplicity of real food hides a deeper gift. Each time you reach for something fresh, whole, and living, you reclaim a piece of that gift. A longer life isn't built in a day. It's built in 1,000 small, quiet choices made over time. Choices that whisper day by day, I am worth caring for. So the next time you stand at the crossroads of convenience and care, pause, breathe, choose the foods that love you back. Because behind every vibrant elder, behind every long life well lived, there is not just good luck. There are thousands of meals woven with intention, love, and wisdom, and your next meal could be one of them. 7. Movement, sleep, and connection. Invisible nutrients for a long life. When we think about health, we often think first of food and exercise. Yet some of the most powerful nutrients for a long, vibrant life are invisible. Movement woven into daily living, deep, restorative sleep, and heartfelt human connection. In every blue zone around the world, from the hills of Sardinia to the beaches of Okinawa, people naturally incorporate these three invisible elements into their routines, often without conscious effort. And it's no coincidence that these same communities produce the highest number of centenarians. First, movement. In Sardinia, elders don't set aside an hour to work out. They move naturally throughout the day, walking steep paths to visit neighbors, tending sheep, gardening, climbing stairs. Movement isn't a scheduled activity. It's embedded in life itself. And this kind of gentle, consistent movement, standing, stretching, carrying groceries, sweeping floors, is far more sustainable and healing than occasional, intense exercise. It keeps joints flexible, muscles strong, and balance intact, all critical factors for preserving independence with age. Consider Mr. Yukio Tanaka from Okinawa, now 90 years old. Every morning, Yukio tends his vegetable patch, stretching and bending for hours without fatigue. His philosophy is simple: move a little, move often. Second, sleep. Restful, high-quality sleep acts like nightly repair work for the body. During deep sleep, tissues heal, hormones rebalance, the brain flushes out toxins, and the immune system strengthens. In Icaria, Greece, where people routinely live past 90, afternoon naps are common, and nighttime routines are honored. They rise with the sun, rest when tired, and avoid artificial light and stimulation late into the evening. Modern science shows that poor sleep is linked to almost every major age-related disease: heart problems, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and more. But a steady rhythm of sleeping and waking, aligned with natural light, strengthens the very foundations of vitality. Third, connection. Perhaps the most underrated factor of all. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, families are large, close, and interconnected. Elders live with younger generations or within walking distance. Friends visit daily. Community gatherings are frequent and joyful. Loneliness, on the other hand, has been shown to be as dangerous to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Isolation quietly eats away at the spirit, increasing inflammation, weakening immunity, and accelerating decline. Real connection, conversations, laughter, shared meals, helping hands, nourishes in ways no supplement can. Take Mrs. Rosa Jimenez, an 85-year-old from Nicoya. Every Sunday, Rosa hosts a gathering for her extended family. 3 generations under one roof, sharing rice, beans, and stories. Family keeps my heart full, she says, eyes shining. And that full heart, science tells us, protects the body too. So how can you weave these invisible nutrients into your own life? Move naturally. Walk whenever you can. Garden. Take stairs. Stretch in the morning sun. Build activity into your lifestyle instead of isolating it into workout sessions. Honor sleep. Establish a gentle nighttime routine. Dim lights, unplug devices, sip calming tea, and let your body ease naturally into rest. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Cultivate connection. Make time for real conversations. Call a friend, join a community group, share meals, volunteer. Invest in relationships that nourish your spirit. And just like the best gardens, these practices don't flourish overnight. They grow with steady, patient care. You don't have to uproot your life. Just add small seeds. A 10-minute evening walk. Turning off screens an hour before bed. Reaching out to an old friend for coffee. Each seed, planted today, blooms into resilience, joy, and vitality tomorrow. The truth is, no amount of kale or quinoa can substitute for the healing power of love, movement, and rest. They are the soft, silent architects of a long, meaningful life. So today, move a little. Rest deeply. Love fiercely. Because health is not just built in the body. It is sung in the spirit, whispered through laughter, and anchored in belonging. And in the end, it's these invisible nutrients, not visible achievements, that carry us joyfully into 90, 100, and beyond. One step, one night of rest, one heartfelt connection at a time. In a world obsessed with finding the next great health breakthrough, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara stood quietly as living proof that the timeless basics, purpose, service, simplicity, are the true elixirs of life. Born in 1911, Dr. Hinohara dedicated more than 75 years to medicine and human wellness, and lived an energetic, meaningful life until the remarkable age of 105. He wasn't just alive, he was fully, vibrantly living. Even at age 101, he was flying internationally to give lectures, writing books, treating patients, and inspiring millions. When people asked him his secret, he always offered the same gentle wisdom. Not new pills, not extreme routines, but a return to the essentials of life. Lived well. First and foremost, Doctor. Hinohara believed in staying busy with what you love. He often said, "There is no need to retire. But if you must, it should be much later than 65 inches." He believed that a sense of purpose, whether through work, hobbies, volunteering, or family, was like oxygen for the spirit. He saw boredom and isolation, not aging itself, as the true threats to vitality. Each day was an opportunity, not a burden. Each morning he rose with excitement, asking, "What new thing will I learn today?" Secondly, he placed enormous trust in natural health habits over medical interventions. Despite being a world-renowned physician, he believed that true health was built in daily life, not in hospitals. He emphasized light eating, joyful movement, laughter, optimism, and regular human connection. His own diet was famously simple: breakfast, coffee, milk, a little orange juice mixed with a spoonful of olive oil. Lunch, skipped or very light, perhaps a few cookies with milk. Dinner, vegetables, a small piece of fish, and rice. Treat, a square of dark chocolate twice a week. He ate just enough to stay energetic without feeling heavy. He moved naturally throughout the day, taking stairs, walking briskly, stretching his body gently and frequently. Dr. Hinohara also stressed not worrying too much about rigid health rules. In his words, "We all remember how, as children, we were full of joy, playing, running around, without worrying about food, sleep, or anything else. I believe we can keep that attitude as adults, too." He believed that playfulness, curiosity, and lightness were essential nutrients for the soul. Strictness, fear, and rigid routines only weighed people down. Instead, he lived with childlike wonder, greeting new experiences with enthusiasm and trusting life's natural rhythms. Another pillar of his philosophy was serving others. Even after his 100th birthday, Dr. Hinohara continued to volunteer his time freely, seeing patients, giving talks, writing essays. He believed that giving, not accumulating, was what kept the heart young. He famously said, "Life is not about selfishness. It's about finding joy in giving to others." This deep sense of service wasn't a burden to him. It was a source of endless energy. Lastly, Dr. Hinohara reminded people to keep looking forward, not backward. Even in his later years, he continued setting goals. New lectures to give, new books to write, new people to meet. He never defined himself by his age. He defined himself by his dreams. At 101, he traveled alone to New York to deliver a keynote speech. At 102, he published another book. At 103, he was still seeing patients several days a week. He believed that as long as you have something to contribute, a word of encouragement, a smile, a story, you have a reason to live. His life was a radiant example that aging is not a slow decline, but a continuation of purpose, play, service, and joy. And when he finally passed peacefully at 105, he left behind more than medical achievements. He left a blueprint for living fully, not by chasing longevity, but by chasing meaning. Today, as we search for ways to extend our own lives, Dr. Hinohara's example stands as a quiet, powerful guide. Move naturally and often, eat lightly and joyfully, stay curious and playful, serve others with an open heart, dream boldly at any age. Because true youth, he showed us, is not measured in years. It's measured in wonder, generosity, and the unstoppable belief that life, at every stage, is worth celebrating. One simple day at a time. One grateful breath at a time. Final takeaway, a gentle blueprint to 100 and beyond. As we reach the end of this journey together, a beautiful truth emerges. Longevity isn't built in grand, sweeping gestures. It's built quietly, invisibly, patiently, in the smallest choices you make each day. There is no single miracle food, no magic pill, no secret shortcut. There is only the slow, steady layering of good habits, loving rituals, and nourishing connections. Eat leafy greens, the humble medicines of the earth. Invite fermented foods to heal your gut and lift your mind. Fuel your days with whole grains that sustain your energy without robbing your spirit. Anoint your meals with olive oil, nature's golden elixir for heart and mind. Treasure nuts and seeds, tiny giants packed with vitality and wisdom. Clear away the hidden threats, sugars and processed foods that steal life drop by drop. And beyond food, move gently through your days, rest deeply, and above all, stay connected to the people and purposes that light you up inside. Longevity is not about adding years to your life at any cost. It's about adding life to your years, laughter, movement, curiosity, love, wonder. It's about waking up each morning with a body that moves freely, a mind that thinks clearly, a heart that beats with gratitude. It's about living fully, not perfectly, through every chapter of life. We've seen this blueprint alive in the gardens of Okinawa, in the fields of Sardinia, in the hills of Nicoya, and the quiet homes of Ikaria. We've seen it reflected in the joyful resilience of elders who carry history in their hands, but hope in their eyes. And we've seen it shining through the extraordinary life of Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, a life built not on chasing youth, but on nurturing meaning, movement, service, and joy. You don't need to change everything overnight. You don't need to chase impossible ideals. You only need to start where you are, with what you have, today. Maybe it's choosing a salad over a packaged snack. Maybe it's taking a gentle walk after dinner instead of sinking into the couch. Maybe it's calling a friend you haven't spoken to in too long. Maybe it's taking a few extra deep breaths before bed, honoring your body's need for rest. Each small choice is like planting a seed. You may not see the garden tomorrow, but with time, with patience, with love, life will bloom in ways you could never imagine. More strength, more clarity, more laughter, more dancing under the stars, more mornings filled with sunlight and gratitude. Because living to 90, 100, or beyond isn't about clinging to life. It's about leaning into it, fully, bravely, gently. It's about showing up for yourself and for the people you love every single day. So as you walk forward from here, carry these timeless truths with you. Choose food that loves you back. Move your body not to punish it, but to celebrate it. Rest with the sacred knowledge that healing happens in stillness. Nurture the bonds that make life rich and sweet. Stay curious, stay kind, stay wildly, wonderfully alive. This is your gentle blueprint. A guide not just to longer life, but to deeper living. And remember, it's never too early and never too late to begin again. You don't need perfection. You only need presence. One mindful step, one loving bite, one heartfelt connection at a time. Here's to your journey. May it be long, joyful, and filled with wonder every single beautiful day you are given. Because you, dear friend, are not just meant to survive. You are meant to thrive.